Do you believe that a prophet of God would do such a thing? That a prophet of God would, kind of use his position to his advantage and, you know, get with a little girl? You think a prophet of God would do that?
No, 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 I don't think that.
Hello amazing viewers, welcome back to Religious Insight. In this video with Godlogic, a female Muslim got horribly horrified while reading her own holy book, her own Quran. Let's find out the truth, what she found.
Hi, hello.
Hello there.
Yes, I am Muslim.
Okay, why do Muslims dislike Paul?
I don't know who Paul is.
You don't know who Paul is?
No, well, I know he is in the Bible, but I
Okay,
never read the Bible, so
fair enough. He's an apostle of Jesus, a messenger that Jesus sent out to help spread his gospel across the world, specifically more so to non-Jewish lands and non-Jewish people, what the Bible
okay.
calls Gentiles. And usually Muslims have a problem with. You never heard Muslims bring up Paul and or nothing like that in a
No,
bad or negative way?
no.
Interesting. Okay. Tell me what do you know about Christianity?
Uh, Nothing. Maybe it's just that you believe in the Trinity.
Okay. What do you think the Trinity is?
I don't know. I
Okay.
never understand.
How long have you been a Muslim?
Since birth,
Okay. So been a Muslim all your life. Is that would that be the main reason why you're a Muslim, is because you grew up in a Muslim household and was raised on the Quran and Hadith and the Sunnah and stuff?
yes.
Okay, okay. And you said you never read the Bible before. Why not?
Well, I don't know, but right now, I've decided to do it since since I've been watching your videos.
Oh wow.
Um, I started in December of 2023,
Mm-hmm.
and it's when I discovered Islam for real. Because I was born Muslim, but I'm not Arab,
Hmm.
so I never really learned anything like any hadith.
Right.
But we practiced. So yeah.
Okay. So wow. I mean, that's amazing to hear. So you've been watching the videos, and that got you interested into doing your own research. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, what have has it there been anything interesting that stood out to you, I guess, about Islam that you've come to learn? You've watched some of my videos, and then you started like looking up stuff. And you said that this is where you've seen the real Islam. What do you mean by that? By the real Islam?
Well, I mean, me personally, what I knew as a child, it was to pray and be good to people. That's it. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the scriptures say.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I learned was about Aisha's
Ah,
age.
yeah,
So I was really shocked, of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, I I've I've tried to stay on the religion.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I guess taking what the Muslim says to not leave Islam, because it's difficult to leave Islam.
Yeah, I understand. Leaving Islam, it seems like you may have a lot to lose, right? You got family, you have community, and
Yeah.
if you were to leave Islam, like even your life could be in danger, or you can lose your family. And so it's hard, right? It's hard.
Well, yeah.
But there's assurance, and you'll find this out when you continue to read the Bible, Jesus gives us an assurance when you come into belief in him, and he says that even mothers will turn their backs on their daughters, fathers will turn their backs on their sons, brother will be against brother because of the truth of Jesus, the Messiah. It's because of this that it'll divide people, because truth divides light from darkness, and Jesus promises that in the midst of that, yes, you'll go through that. And yes, you'll go through trouble, but he'll be there with you. You won't be alone. And not only that, but you'll also have a family of believers that pray for you, root for you, support you, and stuff like that. So I want to know what do you think about, Muhammad and Aisha, obviously him being 54, him sleeping with her when she was 9 years old. I know that wasn't easy to see, huh?
Yeah, but it wasn't easy, but a lot of people say maybe she was 18. Even though since I saw like your videos, I know that she was definitely 9
Exactly.
years old.
Exactly.
But then they say that, it was different back then, and the age, the psychological part, it's
They
it's
try
not
to
the
say
same.
that back then girls maybe matured faster than they do now, and so Aisha, even though she was 9, she would have been more mature, which is an absolute lie. Actually, we have evidence that people are maturing nowadays faster than they matured back then. It's so ridiculous. There's no way out of it. They try their best, GT. They try their best to come up with an excuse to defend that. But there's no defense of that. You can't defend pedophilia. You can't defend it.
True.
So let me ask you this, and you're being honest. Do you believe that a prophet of God would do such a thing? That a prophet of God would, kind of use his position to his advantage and, get with a little girl? You think a prophet of God would do that?
No, 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 I don't think that. But I mean, didn't like also people of Christianity did that?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
Let me show you what the Bible. Let me actually
Yeah.
show you what the Bible says on this. That's actually. I'm glad you asked that. Let me show you exactly what the Bible says on this particular issue, because the Bible's pretty clear on how men and young women are supposed to, get together and win. So this is what the Bible says. Let me go to. It's going to be 1 Corinthians. It's actually one of the letters of Paul. One of the messengers of Jesus. It's a letter of Paul that we're talking about. So this is what it says here. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and share the screen. All right. So it's on the screen now. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 36. It says, "But if any man thinks he is behaving improperly toward his virgin," right? So obviously a man receives a virgin for marriage. It says, "If she is past the flower of youth, and thus it must be so, it must be. Let him do what he wishes. He does not sin. Let them marry." So the Bible is clear. The virgin has to be past the flower of her youth. She has to be past that. She has to be mature, right? Both physically and mentally. She has to be past her youth. She has to be a young woman for them to be married. It must be so.
But what's a young woman?
So one who is physically and mentally mature. So she's physically grown up, You know, she's physically developed and mentally she's developed. She understands what marriage is. She understands what sexual intercourse is. You know, she understands what she's getting into. She's a young woman,
Okay.
you know?
Right.
So yeah, so that's what that means. So the Bible is pretty clear. Now, it doesn't give a specific age per se, but it gives a generality. She has to be physically and mentally mature. She has to be past her youth, right? She can no longer be a youth for, you know, you to be marrying her. It must be so. While in Islam, obviously, you're allowed to, you know, have relations with girls who have not even hit puberty yet. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I saw the video where when you showed the verse, but
Well,
no,
what?
there's no but.
I agree. There is no but. There is no excuse for any of this, you know?
Yeah.
And it's especially, this is where it's like really serious. The fact that it's not Christians or people who hate Islam that, you know, like is showing this stuff. The Muslim scholars themselves made it so clear that yes, this is permissible. They made it clear. No one can dispute it, you know?
I saw the videos, the one that said like 11-month-old, you can marry a makes no sense.
Yeah. But that's Islam, and that's what Muhammad says is revelation from Allah, from God on high. Now, I don't know about you, GT, but I know good and well that that is not a teaching from God. I know that.
I mean, maybe it is, and we don't know.
There's no way. There's no way. Because we're talking about God here, GT. God is morally perfect. He's morally perfect. He is all good. He cannot teach a foul, disgusting teaching. He cannot give a disgusting, sinful command. We know that this is disgusting. We know that this is sinful. And why do we know this? Because we are made in the image of the true God. The true God has given us his moral compass to where we don't even need a book to tell us that this is disgusting and that this is wrong. We know this naturally because the true God has given us this judgment, this moral compass within us. You know, this is what in Islam you guys will call it the fitra, your natural disposition.
Yeah.
So this is how we can tell. This is one of the ways we can tell the true God from a false God, from a counterfeit, right? Because God has given us his character. We have, you know, remnants and, you know, little seasonings of his character within us that we can have an idea of what's not him. That's how when we read this stuff in the Quran and the Hadith, we know that this is not of God. It can't be. Especially when
the problem.
Go ahead, GT.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah. The problem is that, for example, I was speaking like with an atheist earlier, and he was, well, I don't know nothing about the Bible, but he was talking about a situation where it was, I think, David and his wife, I don't know the name, and so they had relations before marriage, and so God, I guess, killed the child to punish them. So he was saying, like, isn't that just evil? So, well, yeah, I mean,
well, absolutely not. Well, this is what you have is where a consequence happens. See, here's a lot of things that people don't get. People don't, and especially an atheist, I can't believe that he would even try to say something is evil when he says God doesn't exist. So evil would be like he's stealing from God to know what evil is, but then using it to argue against God. As an atheist, he can't say anything is good or evil. That's just an illusion. But just to answer the objection here, as you see how God works, God judges by responsibility, right? Responsibility, not really accountability, responsibility. So, for example, you have where nations would sin against God, right? Nations, their parents, like people would sin against God in a particular nation, leaders and all these kind of people. And because of that, the nation would suffer, right? The curses of God, the punishments of God, the wrath of God would fall on the nation itself when there's people among the nation who are responsible for the nation sin against God and rebel. They fall. So this happens the same with kings. If a king falls, the people fall, right? The kingdom falls. If the king, if the king falls, the kingdom falls, because that's the responsibility of the king. And that's how God judges. He judges by responsibility, not accountability. David here does something heinous. He commits not only just murder, but also adultery. And because of that, his fallen state, the result of that is him losing his kid due to a sickness. But it says the child fell sick and God didn't spare the child.
But God made the child sick.
Oh yeah, as a result of the sin, and the responsibility of David. The child gets sick as of God's judgment and wrath, and the child dies because of the sickness.
Yeah. I'm going to show him this video.
Of course. But I would bring that atheist here to me. I would love to talk to that atheist about good and evil. I would love to have that conversation with him, because he can't, like I said, he can't say what good and evil is if there is no God. If there is no God, where is he getting this idea of what good is and what evil is? It's just his opinion that he's making up, right?
Okay.
So he's stealing morality from God. Where God says there's good and there's evil. He steals that idea from God to argue against God. It makes no sense. So yeah, bring him here. I'll have a conversation with him.
Okay.
But this is something interesting to think about. Okay? God judges by responsibility, not accountability. For example, and here's another way to think about it. The fall of Adam and Eve. God gave Adam responsibility of the earth, right? He gave that responsibility to Adam. And once Adam fell, he rebelled against God, ate the fruit. Adam fell. Then we see sin has entered the world, death has entered the world, and now human beings are born with the inclination, the desire to sin. It's now what we urge to do now. We rebel against God naturally. But this happened because the person who was responsible over us fell. So because he fell, all of humanity is now in a fallen state, because Adam had that responsibility. So it's not, we're not guilty of Adam. Adam's the one who ate the fruit. So I'm not guilty of Adam eating the fruit. I am now guilty for what I do, but I am now living in a system where I am now reaping the effect and the results of Adam's action.
Yes. Okay.
So it's similar to that.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is what we have here. Keep studying, sister. Keep reading the Bible. Do you own a Bible yourself? You have one, like a actual Bible?
No.
You just read it online?
No.
No?
I think I never read anything. I think, but
you've never opened it before.
No.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, let me show you a few things that's in it. I'm gonna show you just a few verses, and then I'm gonna encourage you to, get yourself a Bible. Maybe it might be
Yeah.
trouble to get yourself a physical Bible yourself, but you have your phone, you have your computer, you can just go on
A physical
Bible app.
Bible is I think it's easy to have.
Yeah, it's easy to get.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
But I did hear some Bible verse though verses.
Oh, you've heard some Bible.
Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. I mean, the one
Yeah,
everybody knows.
that's yeah, that's a popular one.
But
that,
I
that's actually an
I
important one
would
to
like
know.
to yeah. But I would like to know, like, why do you think that Muslims dislike Paul? Because I did do some research,
Yeah.
but I don't understand. Like, is it because Muslims says that we don't have the Injil?
Boom. You got it. So
Oh,
their
okay.
pro- so their problem is that the Quran says that it confirms the Injil and the Torah, right? That's the
Yes.
Bible. That's what we have, the Bible. So in the Bible, we have the Torah, we have the Injil, we have the gospel, we have all the writings of the prophets. So
Yeah.
here's the problem. The Quran says over and over and over and over again, repeatedly, that it came confirming the Torah and the gospel and that which the Jews and Christians possess, what they have in their hands.
Yes.
However, when we go into the Bible, when we read the Torah, we read the Injil, the gospel, we actually see that the Quran actually contradicts what the Torah says. It contradicts what the Injil says. So that would mean that the Quran is actually false because it's saying that these books are true while at the same time contradicting them. So the Quran would be false. So how do
But then, so if I try to, uh, stay Muslim, I'd say like that we don't know where the real Injil is, and so the one that you have is not the real one because
uh-huh.
it was corrupted. But I do not believe that it was corrupted because there is no evidence. So yeah, I can't take
Yep.
this take.
There's no evidence of any corruption, nor does the Quran say that they were corrupted. So as a Muslim, to say that the Injil was corrupted, they will be going against the Quran. That's number one. In many ways, here's one way. The Injil is the revelation of Allah. The Quran says that over and over, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Quran also says that no one can change the words of Allah. That's Surah Anam, chapter 6, verse 115. None can change the words of Allah. So if they're saying that the Injil was changed, was distorted, that means that people actually were able to change the words of Allah, which goes against the Quran. So is Allah telling the truth that no one can change his words, or is he lying? So that's problem number one. Problem number two is that the Quran never says that they've been corrupted. The Quran over and over again, matter of fact, it doesn't just say that it confirms the Torah and the Injil. It says that the Injil is in their hands, that they have it, that they have to read it, that they can recite it, that they have to live by it and observe it. So they have it. It's not lost. They have it.
Yes.
So to say that it's been lost would also be going against the Quran.
We cannot win.
Can't win. It's what we call the Islamic dilemma. It's a true dilemma. It's tough. There's no way out.
Welcome back, guys. I believe you enjoyed watching this video. Let us know your views in the comment section. This is another proof of what the internet can do to Islam. Till now, I still wonder why Muslims dislike Paul so much. Was it because he exposed Muhammad of being an antichrist, or what? Because at some point, I wonder the reason why they hate his messages so much, even though his messages aligned with the other apostles, because it is difficult to understand their reason at this point why they hated him so much. And I strongly believe that it is because he exposed Muhammad as the Antichrist. This video is one of the reasons why I kept on saying that the greatest undoing of Islam is the internet. Now everybody have access to their materials that exposes their core teaching that are not taught in their regular lectures in the mosques by their imams. So this imam, they exclude some core teaching that they know that it will offend the people to leave Islam. So they don't teach all those things in the mosques, but they are in their materials that you can source for online. And these materials are doing a lot of harm to Islam by exposing their lies and their hypocrisy. There is no way possible to defend this PDF file in Islam. They have come up with a lot of excuses to defend Muhammad for marrying Aisha. Some even said he married her young because he wanted to get her and provide for her. So the question remains that is there no way the prophet would have helped the child and cater for her without marrying her? And these are not genuine reasons at all. They are only doing this as a cover up to cover the evil practices of the prophet. The pathetic part of this marriage is that it is always these old men who have passed their primes are the ones coming to marry these young girls who are old enough to be their grandkids. So it is so pathetic and it is somehow annoying. And I am glad that this lady is open-minded and she was ready to learn. She didn't come to argue, but she came to learn, and I believe she was able to pick one or two things from this video, and a seed has been sown in her heart and it will go a long way in convincing her to leave Islam. Guys, let's know your views about this video in the comment section. In case you have not subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe, share this video with your friends and your family, most especially those your Muslim friends that have been debating you and their hearts are so hardened that your words cannot penetrate, and I believe the words of this video can penetrate their heart to convince them to leave Islam. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in our next video.